the case of KODA, now we don't know the presenting complaints KODA went to the doctor with. No, we don't know the actual problem KODA went to the doctor with. For all you know, the presenting complaints he gave to the doctor was way different from possible signs and symptoms of GCPD crisis. It can be any other thing. So let's say he just went to the doctor and said that he has been having consistent headaches. So the doctor will ask further questions, direct questions, to find out what is actually wrong with him. So after that, the doctor will also ask that, do you have any past medical condition? That's per the protocol the doctor is following. It will get to a point that he will ask whether you have any past medical condition, whether you have been admitted at the hospital before, whether after you were giving birth to appreciated patients. Hello there, you are once again welcome to this channel, and today we are going to talk about the doctor's report concerning the death of um, KODA, and wherever he is, I pray that may his humble soul rest in perfect peace. So for some time now after the death of KODA, a lot of people have been coming out to give a lot of complaints about how doctors tend to neglect certain things when it comes to their profession. And mostly with the doctor's profession, it happens to do with lives, the lives of people. So it's a very critical profession, or a very serious profession, that any sense of mistake, or we don't give room for mistakes, because we are dealing with the lives of people. And with the case of KODA, it's very unfortunate that he had been on wrong medications for about 8 good months, knowing that he was a GCPD. And a lot of people have been talking, and I think it's high time we addressed this particular issue the right way. And it's because people don't have to lose trust in doctors or their healthcare professionals. People have to at least accept them, accept the profession, and also adhere to their mode of ethics, or their profession, and put it that way. So with the case of KODA, now anytime anyone meets a doctor, doctors are programmed in a way that they react to whatever you say, or they take actions per what you are telling them once you are conscious. So anytime anyone meets a doctor, the first thing a doctor does is that he introduces himself and he seeks your consent. So after seeking consent, he now comes to why you are there, why you've walked away from your house to his consulting room. Then he wants to inquire what's wrong with you. So there are laid down procedures or protocols that the doctor follows in order to get the best out of you, so that he or she can help you. So let's consider the case of KODA. Now, assume the doctor who actually took care of KODA didn't know anything about KODA, just like any other patient walking into a consulting room. The doctor doesn't know you, you don't know the doctor as well. So he introduces himself that he's a doctor and he's the one going to take care of you. Fine. So the next thing is that he asks you, you're presenting complaints or a PC. So what brought you here? Then the person will say, okay, I have headaches, I have jaundice, sorry, my eyes are yellow, yeah, I feel feverish, I have oral bitterness. Then after listening, the doctor will ask you that, for how long has it been? Has it been for 2 days, 1 week? What have you? So after that, after you presenting your complaints, the doctor will now ask you certain questions. When it started, how it happened, if it was pain, he will ask you the site of the pain. He will also ask you what triggers the pain. He will ask you the character of the pain. Is it piercing? Is it severe? Is it stabbing? He also asks you of radiations. Where is the pain, spreading to? Where it started from your stomach, but is it radiating to your back? You see, there are associations and what have you. So the doctor will ask you all these questions. And now, anytime doctor or your healthcare professional is asking questions, then perhaps per your complaints is assuming that there is one or two disease conditions that per what you've told him or her, he thinks might be the problem with you. So you tend to ask a lot of further questions just to know know what's actually wrong with you. So you present your complaints to him. He asks you the history of presenting complaints. He asks you on direct questions per the differentials he had in mind. You'll be asking me specific questions. So, for example, if it happens to be urine UTI, urinary tract infection, the doctor had in mind, you can be asking questions like, "Do you have pain when urinating?" He can also ask you that you urinate more frequently. You ask whether you have low abdominal pain. You can ask whether you feel feverish or even nauseous. You see, so with the case of KODA, now we don't know the presenting complaints KODA went to the doctor with. No, we don't know the actual problem KODA went to the doctor with. For all you know, the presenting complaints he gave to the doctor was way different from possible signs and symptoms of GCPD crisis. It can be any other thing. So let's say he just went to the doctor and said that he has been having consistent headaches. So the doctor will ask further questions, on direct questions to find out what is actually wrong with him. So after that, the doctor will also ask that do you have any past medical condition? That's per the protocol the doctor is following. It will get to a point that he will ask whether you have any past medical condition, whether you have been admitted at the hospital before, whether after you were giving birth to, you were told that you have this condition or that condition. The doctor in the protocol he follows, you have to ask you. So for what's happening between the doctor who took care of KODA and KODA himself, we can't tell whether the doctor necessarily followed all the protocols in history taking or whether he skipped some. But you see, from the audios that from the video that was circulating, it was obvious that um, the doctor didn't know that KODA was GCPD, and KODA too didn't disclose to the doctor that he had GCPD. So if the doctor had followed the protocols very well, maybe when he got to the point of asking any past medical history, KODA could have told him that, okay, I have GCPD. Even if it escaped the doctor from asking at the past medical history, he could have even gone further to, let's say, do you have any allergies or drugs you don't like? Because that is also part of the history taking. So the doctor asks you, is there anything your body doesn't like? Is there any medication that you dislike or your body doesn't like, or you react to that particular medication? The doctor will ask because it's part of the protocols that are followed during history taking. So I think this is the point that both the doctor, perhaps, and KODA also had it wrong. Because see, with cases like GCPD, as I said in previous video, it's mostly diagnosed at birth. So once you are giving birth to it's detected, most often than not, about 95% of the cases are detected at birth. So parents are even advised when you are going for weighing and postnatal care, your parents or your guardians, your mother is told that this is what you have, this is the medical condition, and they are advised as to what they are not supposed to come in contact with, like kaffa, like chloroquine, like acetaminophen, like diclofenac, and those things like fava beans, lentils, the food you eat, and chickpeas and a whole lot. So they are advised, they are lectured on the disease condition. So growing up, it is the responsibility of the parent to also educate their child concerning their medical condition. So from the case of our past musician, it's obvious that the parents did well by telling him that he has GCPD. So he actually knew that he has GCP. If not, he wouldn't have gone to research whether or not the particular drugs they were giving him was good for his body. So he knew that he had GCPD. So I don't know, maybe as a doctor followed the protocol, and he asked him that, do you have any past medical history? Maybe he was thinking that it's something that's serious, something like you being admitted at the hospital or something like that. So Maybe they brushed it off, or he simply told the doctor that he doesn't have any past medical history. So with that, the doctor might not have anything in mind concerning he having GCSP. So at that very point in time, he should have told him. He should have, if only the doctor asked, and that's the clause. If only he asked, then that was a point that KODA should have told him that he has GCSPD. Then the doctor will be careful with the type of medication he will prescribe for KODA to take. So now we don't know, and we can't tell whether one asked the question and the other failed to answer well, or the other didn't ask at all. I mean, the doctor didn't ask at all. So KODA didn't get any avenue to tell the doctor that he has GCSPD until after 8 months that he has been on that medications for a very longer time. And perhaps, if you are on a contraindicated medication for some time, you'll be reacting. So maybe you also are reacting to the drug. Certain things aren't going on well. So he just stood up one day to just research to know whether or not the drug is good for his body or his health condition. So these are some of the things that we mostly brush up. So it's unfortunate, as I said earlier on, but then I think both doctors and patients, or healthcare professionals and patients, should be very, open when interacting. So we as doctors have to ask lots of questions. And you see, the reason why we tend to ask questions is that sometimes we want to streamline what's actually wrong with the patient to one or two disease conditions. Other than that, when anyone meets a doctor, you might run all the labs in this world, and there are over 5,000 different labs that someone may run, and you might not have that financial capacity to run every lab. You see, so the doctors inquire from you, they ask questions, to figure out what's actually wrong with you, so that they can streamline your complaints to one or two disease condition and recommend two or three labs for you to do. So it's one step to the other. So it's very unfortunate, and it was very expedient for me to talk about this thing because it's like most often or recently a lot of people have been talking about it, that when they go to the hospital, doctors doesn't take good care of them, they just brush them off. See, when you meet a doctor, make sure you tell him everything he has to know, because he is not a god. He is not a god. He cannot, by maybe he's a Christian, so the Holy Spirit may minister certain things to him. Fine, but he's not a god. Okay, and please, our fellow doctors too, we should also accept that we are not all knowing. We can't know everything. So sometimes when people are asking questions, we have to adhere. We have to hear them out. We have to listen to them. Sometimes we have to come as slow, to their understanding, break things down well for them to understand. Not jamming them and backlashing them with big, big words. The patient sitting before us, they don't know our times. We have our own times. So we have to calm down as low as possible, explaining things to them, explaining their medications to them, the possible side effects, the contrary indications, and a whole lot of things. We have to explain. We have to even explain their disease conditions to them. Some people also say that when they go to the hospital, doctors let them run a lot of labs and they won't prescribe any medications for them. Yes, so we as doctors, we have to explain to patients that why they are running certain labs and why we aren't giving them medications at that very point in time. We have to explain. We have to explain, because for someone to walk all the way from the house to the consulting room, then it means he or she is going through something. There is something wrong. Other than that, he wouldn't have spent that time to come to us. So we have to be as patient as possible, break things down for them. In fact, if it happens to be that you have to use your local dialect, you have to. One man of God said something, Apostle Joshua Selman. He said the proof of mastery is to explain without ambiguity. You are able to explain things even in your dialect or in the patient's language that he or she can understand very well. You have to explain. You have to explain. So we have to be patient. Sometimes people also complain that when they ask doctors certain questions, then the doctors will get angry. It's not supposed to be so. That's not the ethics of the profession. The ethics speaks against that. We have to hear them out. We have to listen to them and hear what they are trying to say. Sometimes we even have to help them to bring out what is actually affecting them or wrong with them. And yes, to the patient as well. Sometimes people go online, do a lot of researches. Now, see, there are so many articles online, but some are not medically proven. So you see online videos, online articles, most often than not, they are like this thing they are sharing with you. Make sure you meet your healthcare professional. Make sure you see your doctor. Make sure you see your physician. You see, so it's like there for educational purposes. So, but then what happens is that I've seen some patients before, and it sometimes gets annoying because the person has gone online to read so many things that are not true because they are not or they didn't visit the right website. And there are good websites that you can go to do your researches. We have the PubMed, and we have Healthline, we have Medscape. There are a lot of websites that you can go to in order to learn a lot of things. But you see, people can just pounce on anything online. Someone will do a video mixing lime water with salt, with cucumber, with banana, blending things together, and someone will assimilate this into the brain, into the system, meets the doctor, and tends to jam the doctor with a whole lot of things as if that place was a lecture room and that he wants to teach the doctor that he knows this and that. No, when you do that, they might get pissed off, or we might get pissed off because like you are coming to now show him what he's supposed to do, and it's not right, it's not fair, you see. Because we are all professionals in our field. If I meet a mechanic, what the mechanic will teach me or will show me might not be what I will show him or her when it comes to health related issues. So we are all different, we are all good at our own professions, and so we have to give ourselves that respect. You see, yes, of course, we have to learn more about our disease conditions, but we have to make sure that we are getting access to the right information so that when you meet the doctor, you can ask the right question and the doctor can also answer you rightly so that there will be peace. So please, it's unfortunate that KODA passed away, and it's unfortunate that he was on wrong medication or contraindicated medication for a very long time, and it's unfortunate, but I believe that with this video and some subsequent ones, we are going to take notice of that, and we are going to adhere to one or two things. We are going to approach our doctors the right way, and doctors too, we are supposed to approach our patients the right way, not present ourselves as gods who are all knowing. Please, we can't be all knowing. Only God can be all knowing. So we have to be as low as possible to help everyone. So thank you. I'm Dr. Wambenji. I'm always here to share with you your health and your wealth related issues. Thank you.